Well, should you hire a professional voiceover talent? Well, as the late Dr. Stephen Covey once famously wrote in his book, The 7 Habits of Highly Effective People, let's begin with the end in mind. Now, as somebody who's responsible for training at your organization, you have a responsibility to produce outcomes, and I'm sure ideally measurable outcomes. And of course, the content that you create is central to that. The gap that exists between the content and the outcome is the engagement. So when it comes to voiceover talent, whether you decide to do that in-house or hire pros outside of your organization, certainly the engagement is a big issue, but only within the context of return on investment, because at the end of the day, we are all accountable for return on investment. So is the time, the resources, the energy, the money that you put into, in this case, specifically we're talking about voiceover for your training content, will it bring the outcome which will in turn result in the return on investment? So what could some of those expenses be? Well, there's expense in equipment. So you have to, if you're going to do it in-house, you're going to make sure that you have the right environment. And by the way, a lot of people think that this right here, meaning a microphone, is what determines the quality of your audio. And that's really, that's much further from the truth than you probably could possibly imagine. It's actually this. It's the space you're in. And I don't mean specifically the kind of booth that I record in, but what I'm saying is where you record, the quietness of it and how well acoustically treated contribute 70 to 85% of the quality of your audio. The rest is determined by the equipment. And by the way, cheap equipment in a great space is far better than an expensive microphone in a cheap space, because a good microphone only magnifies any issues that you might have. So there's the equipment investment. Do you have internal talent that will be able to connect with your audience? Now, and we all know that being an expert in something doesn't necessarily make us a great communicator in that. Although you may have great communicators, don't assume that just because they're a subject matter expert that they can engage the audience in the way that you want. At least make sure you audition them and test it to make sure that they can do that. The other thing to keep in mind is the expense of time. How long will it take to do recordings in-house? How long will it take to do pickups? So when I say pickups, where edits are needed, where changes in scripts happen, where mistakes are made, things need to be changed. How quickly and efficiently and inexpensively can it be done in-house compared to outsourcing it to a pro who that's presumably what they do on a full-time basis. And I know one of the things that Richard Watson and I have talked about on a number of occasions, how important it is that you receive finished audio. When I say finished, the term I like to use is plug and play. When a project is done, can you simply take it and drop it into a project and it is ready to go without any further work on your end? And can the person who's recording and editing it create it on a consistent basis so that when edits are made or new modules are added or whatever the case may be, that new audio matches precisely the old audio so that it's seamless and not noticeable to the learner?